Claude has released routines in Claude Code. This is a big update. I want to walk you through it, how to use it, how to get the most out of it, and what makes it different from something like scheduled task inside of Cowork. So as you can see, they announced this as a research preview yesterday, and their one sentence explanation was create a routine once, and it can run on a schedule from an API call or in response to an event. So it can be triggered by an event. This immediately brings to mind a tool like N8N and how N8N is used to go off triggers and to plug into APIs. They're clearly trying to compete there. So really quickly, this must be done on the web browser. It is not for the desktop app as of right now, but if you go to routines, you go to claude.ai/code, you click on the left-hand panel, you will see routines available there. Now, in terms of routines, what exactly are they? Well, they're essentially Claude Code prompts that run in the cloud instead of your local machine. So you can define a prompt, you can connect it to a GitHub repo, you can connect it to an API, and you can set it to a schedule, or you can have it triggered, like I was just saying, based on a sequence of events. So you can basically run this prompt instead of configuring all these different tools together like you would inside of N8N. It basically just strips out the need to have that visual orchestration, and now you can just use natural language. So the key difference that exists from, say, scheduled task inside of Claude Code desktop app or Cowork desktop app is that your laptop does not need to be open. The routine runs on the web and it's fully autonomous. So no permission prompts, no human in the loop, etc. Now, if you want to think about how these compare to what we're already seeing, you can essentially see that routines, like I just mentioned, they run in the cloud. The machine doesn't need to be on. It doesn't need an open session. It survives restarts. There's a lot more guardrails for working on the local computer, which is good because we have sensitive files on there that we don't want to get destroyed. With routines, you can set a minimum interval of 1 hour. With desktop scheduled tasks, you can do 1 minute. So it is a little bit more active with what you can do with the desktop, but it's still really, really cool that we can plug into the cloud. And I'm about to walk you through some examples of how you can actually do this, plug in your API, etc. But this is really important. The three trigger types are schedule, API, and GitHub events. So, with schedule, we can set a recurring cadence, hourly, daily, weekdays. With the API, we can fire a routine from any external system via a post request. So, for example, something I do a lot of in N8N is I have a spreadsheet connected to it. Every time there's a new entry in the spreadsheet, it triggers the automation, and the automation runs, and it sends it to the next tool, it sends it to the next tool, which sends it to the next tool. So you can do a bit of that with using APIs here, which in the examples I'm going to walk you through, we do just that. We use APIs. You can also do GitHub events. So this is great for developers. Trigger routine. If you're not familiar with GitHub, by the way, it's Google Docs for code. You can trigger routines automatically on new PRs, pushes, issues, or releases. It's great for code review and a lot of other things. I know a lot of viewers here are not developers, so we won't go too deep into that. But if you want to set up your cloud environment, first you got to think about what tools would I hypothetically want to use. And I can walk you through some examples to kind of get you started. Okay, so here we are. We are in Claude Code. I'm actually on the website version, not the desktop version. You can access it from either side. You just click on the left-hand panel. You go to Claude Code. At the top, it says New Sessions or Routines. Click Routines, and it'll bring you right into where we are at now. And so what I'm about to do now is walk you through creating routines and everything you need to know about it. So let's go ahead and get started. So first things first, there's two ways to connect to external services when you're using routines. You can do via connectors, the easiest way, via MCP, or you can create an environment. And when you create an environment, you just need to label it correctly. You need to give it the level of access you want to give it. And then what you'll need to do is in your environment variables, you'll need to add things like an API key, potentially an MCP code, or a secret key, depending on what tool you're using. And then that's how it will trigger the API as you're trying to do these scheduled routines. So I also created a document basically helping me walk you through all of this. And so the first example that we're going to walk through is called Slack Proof of Life. And so the routine name, we're going to call it Slack Proof of Life. And we're going to do manual. We're going to run it now. We're going to, Slack only. Okay, so This is basically an automation to see if we can ping Slack. So post a single message to the Sam Slack channel. Let me make sure that's the right channel. Okay, it is. So post a message to the Sam Slack channel confirming this routine is operational. Use this connected Slack MCP to send the message. Do not use curl or HTTP request. Do not install any packages. So this is what the message should contain. The Slack post fails for any reason. Write a clear error to stand out explaining which step failed. Okay, so this is great. We'll go ahead and let this run default in the cloud. It's already connected. And so I just need to select. I'll do daily at 9 a.m. and I'll have to run this manually. I'll create this and then I can run it now. All right, now let's go ahead and create the second routine, and that is going to be the intentional failure. So local state demo failed. So this is going to show what a failure looks like. Okay. Here's the prompt we have. Read the files. Summarize its context, then open the default Chrome browser profile, read the save cookies for community.school.com, and list any active sessions in cookies. Finally, check the local init directory. And so why this works, every single one of these is impossible in the cloud sandbox. So it's just literally not possible for this to happen. The cloud session will see the GitHub repo, my connectors, and my environment variables, nothing else. So there is no browser sessions, there is no local workflows, and this is to show you what a failed session would look like. So we'll do daily, and then we will create, and then we will run now, and this is going to run for a minute, and it should come back with an error. If it works, then maybe this tool is a little better than I was actually thinking. All right, so checking in on the first routine, it says no exact SAM channel exists. That's true. Sending a DM to user SAM, the closest match. The working directory is empty, so I'll report the repo state honestly. Message posted to Sam's DM because no literal SAM exists. And let's check Slack. Boom, there it is. Routine operational. Amazing. Okay, so that worked really well. Now let's go check on the failed or the impossible demo, if you will. Let's see the run. I can do the first and third task, but not the second. I won't read saved browser cookies, Chrome store session cookies encrypted specifically to protect them from other processes and extracting active session tokens for a third party. Boom. So there you go. That wouldn't work, just as we expected. So neither path in this environment exists. So let's go to our third example where it gets a little bit better. We're going to call this the morning briefing. Now, I have a video about scheduled task inside of Claude Cowork, and this is fairly similar to that. So we're going to get this prompt here. Okay, yep, so we got all this. Basically going to do, essentially just look through all my calls. It's going to look through my Slack messages. It's going to look through all my information, and it's going to, from there, create a daily briefing. So we'll see. I mean, it's connected to Drive. Actually, doesn't look like my Drive is connected, which is weird. So I will actually, okay, so I change it back to send it to Sam via DM and Slack, use only the connected MCP servers. This is going to run daily at, let's say 8 a.m. Add trigger, boom, we'll create, but then we'll go ahead and run now. So that workflow is in process. While this is getting processed, let's go ahead and do another example. Let's do one more little fun routine. So let's do content ideas from work. So read my last 20, it doesn't need to be unread. Read my last 20 Gmail messages. Pull out topics, questions, or themes that can make good content for Integri. Post 3, content ideas to my Slack Sam channel. For each idea, include the topic and one sentence on why it would resonate. I could also put this in Notion. I could say, add this to a Notion page, add this to Drive, or whatever the case might be. For ease of use, let's just do Slack. I'll do schedule. I will do weekly, add trigger, and then we will create. And we will run this. Let's see how it goes. All right, let's see how this did. We'll open it up. Boom, boom, boom. Post it to your DM. 3 ideas. Yeah. This is awesome. Let's see what, yeah. So there it is. Popped up right there, sent using Claude. That's perfect. So, guys, this is how you use Claude Routines. It's incredibly powerful. You can think about all the different use cases depending on the connectors and what you want to connect it to. It's really straightforward to use. It's not very difficult. You don't need to be an engineer. I highly recommend either setting up scheduled tasks in Cowork or routines in Claude Code, although routines are definitely a little bit more powerful. I'm going to be using this feature a lot. Hopefully you do too. Hopefully this video was helpful. Make sure to subscribe, leave a comment. I've got a lot of new content coming soon, so you want to check that out, and I'll see you guys in the next one.